Hey guys, it's Will. Hopefully, you're having a great day today. I'm at the Las Vegas airport right now, and I'm going to be covering Big Bear AI. We are on the way to going to the Symposium in Colorado Springs. So, if you guys want some exclusive insights, we're also sharing some of the things we learn at the live session tomorrow morning at Market Open. And we go live every morning. If you want to be there, it's the second link down below. Rigetti stock was one we covered earlier today. The one that I wanted to cover right now is Big Bear AI. So let's take a look at AI and LLM. You can see some of the movers today ending the day in the green after hours. So a lot of companies doing quite well after hours. A little bit of a bump there. If we take a look at Big Bear AI, just 1% today. A little bit of a V-shaped pattern as of recently. There's three things that we can look at for Big Bear. And one of the things, from a business focus, is they're primarily in the artificial intelligence and machine learning sectors. And they've been providing some solutions that I'd say are relevant to decision making processes in complex environments. In fact, I'm even going to be going to Denver International Airports where I'm flying into right now. When I get there, well, if I was leaving there and I had to go through security, I most likely would get my face scanned. And it's the same tech that's scanning faces at airports. That's Big Bear AI. They have a partnership with Denver International Airport, as well as some other airports that are really huge. So it's interesting because they were struggling getting rejected by this 200-day moving average. With tariffs and everything else, they're actually a company that wouldn't be affected as much because they're in the AI space in the US, and US plans to spend more money. They're definitely spending money on contracts here with BBAI. And you can see that they are recovered back into this previous support, and they're at the 200-day moving average. Could we see them break back up to this $3.60 or even continue the overall trend getting back into these levels? It's possible. There's some down headwinds right now that they're facing with the market, but the performance of the stock, like any stock, it's volatile. And of course, depending on market conditions, that's something we're looking at, especially right now. But it's essential to look at Big Bear AI from a financial perspective. One thing that we can look at from their stock is that they recently paid off most of their debt. Their market cap's just under $1 billion. And if you go to their financials, you could see, just take a look at their revenue. So it's slowly increasing, 33 million and then 39 million in the next quarter, then 41 million and then 43 million. So they're increasing their revenue quarter over quarter. They did have a big negative net income in quarter four 2024 because all that debt is basically gone now. So that's something to consider. They switched CEOs, they had some change in leadership, and immediately after, we saw this big debt payoff. So that's something to consider with the company. But again, what we're watching here is if it can hold this level and potentially recover, because this is a previous support that we've been trading quite often. If it is at this 200-day moving average, you could see a few times where it's gotten rejected. It pushed up, gets rejected, pushed up, gets rejected. It just pushed up today with a nice recovery. And these are the types of dips you want to look for in these types of markets, is these big dips and these V-shaped patterns. Just today, in the past 24 hours, the stock, it swung 23% just in a matter of hours. So those are the types of swings that are happening right now. And again, it's right at this 200-day moving average. So would it make sense that it gets rejected? Yeah, it would. But would it also make sense that this very strong previous support that it just recently broke, but maybe it can hold, could continue to hold and it might recover up? That could make sense as well. Now, if we see something like that, the info line tells us a recovery on Big Bear. If we do see a near-term recovery, could be about 30% there. But most likely what we're going to look at, aside from that move, is what do the market open movements look like? Do we get to see a big red start to the day and then a green recovery? Because if so, those are the types of moves that if we start to see this momentum play out, break above that EMA, RSI, and the MACD starts to cross over, and we get that confirmation, maybe we can buy around this area and at least hold our trading plan. If it doesn't go according, it doesn't go according. But we get into it. If it goes according, it's a really nice swing to capitalize on. And we've seen these types of swings happen in the intraday period. Now, long term, I do have some long term positions on Big Bear because of their tech. They have partnerships with Palantir. They work with almost every government agency from the DoD to US Army to Homeland Security. And as you can see, uh, these partnerships are not small. When you're talking about Palantir, you're talking about monitoring huge amounts of data. And in the case of airports, for example, they're managing all of the data that has all these new people coming in each and every day. So those are things that make a difference. Like those are things that provide a lot of value. If you can solve that problem of being able to have eyes, they're called Big Bear. Maybe they should be called Big Brother. That was something we joke about quite often in our live sessions in the morning. Big Brother is up today now, but it because they're like big eyes on everything from Homeland Security to Border Patrol to airports. They work with the Pentagon and Palantir, so it makes sense that they could be a big player in security and AI, especially if that's what the government's focusing on. You've seen some government interviews recently where they say we're focusing on tech support. That's something they hear. We're focusing on tech support. And I was just talking with a friend the other day where he was saying the number one thing that and he focuses on government, he's worked some government jobs, and now he's an investor, and he's telling me one of the things that he noticed was that the old systems that he used to work with in the government, a lot of them were very old. It's like, you know how the DMV, it used to feel like super slow, but things get upgraded, then it becomes better tech. Or you look at it, kind of feels like going to Kmart. Have you ever been to an old place like Kmart or I don't know, Blockbuster? Like, and those systems are so old and it takes them like 10 minutes to check you out. I mean, they say that a business is successful or employees are successful if the tools they use can be up to that of the speed at which they work. And so when it comes to the government, there's a lot of work that has to be done. And so one of the first things that they're doing right now is they're working on the tech that government agencies have. They're working on the software, their tech support. And so that's something that Big Bear AI, they specialize in. And that's probably why we see them continue to get contracts, especially in this administration right now. If you guys look at their CEO, specifically Big Bear AI, you could go to their company here and you could go, I think it's their news. Let's see, newsroom. And you head down to when they hired their new CEO, which happened right. It was before or after the IDIQ contract. But their new CEO, Kevin McElhaney, I don't need to look at the article, but he used to work, there's the article, he used to work Secretary of Defense, acting Secretary of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, is what he served as. And that was during the first Trump administration. So you can see here, take a look. That's interesting. Commissioner of U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Um, I mean, that's exactly the type of person that would have the type of connections that could connect this company to, or know the solutions, the value that needs to be provided or the tech that needs to be built that the government would be interested in buying. And that's probably why he's the CEO. That's just a really long shot in the dark guess. But when it comes to Big Bear AI, we'll be watching it closely. I think that this is a move that we could see replicate, maybe not in the exact same levels, but definitely the type of move that we like to see in the markets. These are the recoveries. These are the swings that we look forward to. It's why our portfolio is up 6% today, even though the markets haven't been up that much. It's because we started the first half of the day shorting, second half of the day buying bullish. It's crazy, but that's just what it's been. So for those of you guys that would like to watch me trade live, I would encourage you to check out the second link in the description. We go live there Monday through Friday at 6:30 a.m. Pacific. We're traveling today, but we'll still be live tomorrow at Market Open. So if you want to join us there and surround yourself with other like-minded individuals, it's that second link in the description to watch me trade live. Thank you guys again. Fire your thumbs up, hit that like button. What do you guys got for me in comments for Big Bear? What are you thinking about the company? Do drop them below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.